Well, I thought I should. God, I always tell all my guests. Um, I don't script it or come in with bullet points. Um, like, hey, let's just push record and capture the moment. But it's so weird that the few times I've um, tried to do a solo thing, it's always awkward. I think it's because I can see the camera um, looking at me, and I can see the video screen on my laptop, so it makes me nervous because I have to look at myself. But anyway, um, yeah, I thought I just wanted to do a short little thing. We passed the 1 year mark of my mom's passing, June 12th of 2022, at right around 1 a.m. in the morning. It was a Sunday morning. June 12th was. Then you hear people talk about this. I think she really was waiting for, um, me and Wes and Oscar and anybody else, but that was pretty much the option that was going to be there at that moment. She was waiting for us to leave. She didn't want to go when we were in the room. Um, and I shared this little meme several days ago on Facebook where it's just a cartoon picture of a mom who's in the hospital, with an IV, and she's in the bed, and her son is there sleeping on a cot next to her. But the mom is the one that's sick and in the hospital, and the picture was just the mom leaning over out of her bed to put a blanket over her son. Because even at the end of her life, she's worried about everybody else, and that's exactly how our mom was. So anyway, um, the podcast has been amazing and very therapeutic for me. Um, and it's kind of fun the random, or kind of amazing, the random connections I've made just by starting the podcast, and then just randomly asking coworkers, friends, family members to be guests. Um, yeah, it's been actually really amazing. I've made connections I never could have predicted. Um, and it's kind of just growing itself, which is what I wanted. I just wanted, I want to do this because I think it's important. Um, the premise of the podcast, I think, is important, but it's also therapeutic for me, and it also, God, I just love talking to people, um, especially like I had a few coworkers on, and it's really cool to um, when you use this podcast format. I don't know why it matters, but there is, and my coworkers in the tire shop always make fun of me because they're like, well, maybe if I decide to be a guest on your podcast, I can actually have a real conversation with you, Ken. Because there's something about the format that allows me to drop my guard and really talk to the person I'm in the room with. And I just love hearing other people's stories, and I love hearing their background and where they grew up and experiences they had. And every one of them, every podcast that I've done, which is not that many, I think I'm 16 or 17 in, I have just a ton of aha moments, or not even aha moments. I have moments where I learn things about people that I've worked with. Some of the coworkers I've had on the podcast, I've worked with them for 2 to 5 years and never knew this stuff about them. Um, So I freaking love that. Um, so anyway, I started off talking about my, we're a little over a month um, past the 1 year date of my mom passing. Um, Big shout out to my friend Jason Moore. For those last 2 weeks when my mom was in the hospital before she passed, I had reconnected with Jason on my 50th birthday in April, and so we're now in June. And Jason was awesome enough to. There was a song that my mom loved, and I sent him a text message. Can you give me a quick tutorial video, show me the chords? And within like half an hour, man, he recorded this instructional video of himself, showed me the chords and how to play it. And I was still not that good at guitar, but I was able to learn it and play it kind of half-assed. But I was able to play it for her in the hospital before she passed. A very rudimentary version of it, but anyway, shout out to Jason, and there's more of a connection here. So that was awesome. That happened, and then later, so the guitar I learned on was a guitar that my mom bought me, like 15 or even 12 to 15 years ago. She bought it for my birthday a long time ago. Because when I was a freshman in college at Western Oregon, and Jason was my roommate for that whole freshman year, he got me into guitar and electric guitar and started teaching me. And then I kind of just let it go for over 20 years and did nothing with it. But, my mom knew that she knew I had an interest in it. And on one of my random birthdays, probably in my 30s, she found this acoustic guitar at a music store in Oregon City. It's kind of halfway up the hill. It's on top of the hill, but it's not all the way to the top. Right down from the Midway. Anyway, and gave it to me, and then I also I let it sit in storage for years, and then somewhere around we're in 2023, so it was maybe 4 years ago now. I was working at Costco, but for some reason I randomly just decided I'm going to do this, and I started finding YouTube videos, and I would just look up like a song that I liked. A lot of it was country, a song that I liked, and I would find a YouTube tutorial video because I thank God for Jason, I knew enough of the basic chords. I just had to translate it to an acoustic guitar, which is different. And kind of taught myself just playing when I could for over 3 years. But that's when I dusted off the guitar that my mom had bought me and learned on it. And I remember after I got better, a little, where I could actually do a chord progression. I would play for her before she had the stroke. But I remember talking to her about it, and after I played on it enough, then I would play on other guitars. I remember having the conversation with her, like, how did you pick this out? Because it sounds great. It has such a great tone. And she did tell me that when she went there to buy it for me, the guy that owns the music store, he gave her two options, and he played both of them for her, and she picked it out. She's like, this one just sounds better. It has a better tone to it. And that's the one she bought for me. So, and I totally agree. The action is awesome. It's easy to play and has a great sound. It is a true acoustic. So it doesn't have any kind of an input where I can plug it into a PA. If I wanted to mic this, you either have to just put a mic on a stand right in front of it, or you have to get a humbucker and put it in there, which I actually bought one. But anyway, it's a beautiful guitar, and it sounds amazing. And I was randomly listening to Jewel's songs earlier today, and I thought that would be appropriate. Oh. So I think it'll pick it up. This is the guitar that my mom bought me for my birthday. It's a beautiful guitar. What's the brand? It's a Suzuki 3s. So not familiar with it, but it sounds awesome. So, and I did a little test video before this, so I know the mic's picking it up. But yeah, a little sample of a Jewel song that is very healing and has a great message. But in honor of my mom, thank you so much for buying this guitar for me, because it took it took 8 or 10 years, but I actually did start practicing and figure this stuff out. So and now that I can hear myself and see myself, I'm gonna get nervous, but I'm gonna try it. So it's a song by Jewel called Hands. So if I could tell the world just one thing, I have to find the key. If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay, and not to worry, cause worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless, I won't be idle with despair. I gather myself around my feet, light as darkness most. I just screwed that up. We're gonna do it live. I'm not gonna edit this, so I gather myself around my feet, for light as the darkness most fear. My hands are small, I know, but they're yours. They are my own, and they're not yours. They are my own, and I am never broken. Poverty stole golden shoes, but it didn't steal your laughter. When heartache came to visit me, I knew it wasn't ever after. And we will fight, not out of spite, but someone must stand up for what's right. Where there's a man who has no voice, there I shall go sing. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours. Are my own, and they're yours. They are my own, and I am never broken. In the end, oh, I screwed that up too. In the end, only kindness matters. In the end, only kindness matters. And I will get down on my knees, and I will pray. I will get down on my knees, and I will pray. My hands are small, I know, but they're yours. They are my own, and they're yours. They are my own, and I am never broken. All right, I will stop the suffering. But yeah, side note, or maybe the most important note. Jason also, when I wanted to not upgrade, but just get a different guitar, an actual acoustic electric that I could literally plug in, he sent me an amazing recommendation for a Yamaha, which I did buy. So that's the one I've been playing on for a long time. And my mom's guitar has been in its case kind of sitting in the corner of the room. So I thought tonight would be a good time to bust it out and play it. And it sounds amazing. But that was the point of this. I learned on this guitar, and this is what gave me the passion and the drive and the inspiration. So thank you, Mom. And I will always cherish this guitar, and I'm going to keep it forever, and I freaking love it. So it was nice to bust it out and play again. It sounds better than I remembered. I have such an amazing support system around me. I'm not going to do specific names, but whoever sees this eventually, they will probably. I want to thank all of you for your support and your understanding and your caring. Yeah, I'm a lucky person. And Chris, you're always there for me. I love you, hon. I do have, let me get past the emotional stuff. I haven't been as regular as I would like on the podcast, but some of it was, I'm using Buzzsprout as my platform, or hosting platform, so I do have to pay for it, and it gives me a little over 12 hours a month. Oh, and I did record a great one with friggin' Vaughn. I used to work with him at Costco. He's doing other things now, but I recorded a second one with him that I can't post because there was some weird connection issue. So the entire podcast, which was like 2.5 hours, there's like a hum or a buzz in the background that runs through the whole audio section. And I don't know what happened. I guess I didn't have something plugged in right. So that one is, if I can figure out a way to fix it, I'll post it, but otherwise I'll just have to record again with you, Vaughn. But yeah, had a ton of interesting and amazing episodes. Most recent one I think was Chance and Heather. Second time for Heather. She had her own solo one, but then Chance, who I work with also, another awesome musician. Yeah, that was a great set down. And then this Friday, which I guess would be the 28th. This Friday, I'm going to go down to Salem and record with my longtime friend who I haven't seen enough of in the last several years because, life happens. But Torin Blackman, we're going to record, and that should be really amazing. And I will get that up as soon as I can. Yeah, it's been amazing. And I don't know if they'll actually ever hear this because I want to give a shout out and some appreciation to the people that I have constantly bothered, because I have learned that I just pester people because I'm so excited about the podcast. So like everybody I know, even friends that I haven't seen for a while, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a podcast. I want to book you as a guest, and it's some people are just not down with it and they're not comfortable with it, which is great. That I totally understand. But I keep just throwing out offers, and so I don't want to be too tedious. But I appreciate everybody that's happened to put up with me as I'm so excited about this thing I'm doing. And I appreciate everybody that has recorded with me, and I also appreciate the patience and understanding of the people that don't want to do it, but they have to deal with me texting them and calling them like, oh, be on my podcast, and they're like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. How do I say no to this fucking idiot which is what they're thinking. So I appreciate your patience and understanding. You guys are awesome. Um, and I can sit down and have a real conversation with you. It doesn't have to be on mic. So, um, all right. Thank everybody for listening. And yeah, just a big shout out to me and Wes's mom. She was awesome and she made us better people. So, love and miss you, Mom. And I will chat with you later.